Hello everyone, Michael Burnoff. As I'm sure you could tell from the email that I sent yesterday that I have been working on and cooking up some great stuff for you. I have an amazing week planned for all of us here, sharing some really new, cool stuff that I know will enhance your life and your business. Now, I'm sure you've heard me say on thousands of conference calls, or maybe 2 conference calls or during one of the courses, that there are certain reasons why people don't do business with you, don't join relationships with you, and I have been studying this for over a decade now. Now, what's interesting is one of the major reasons people don't do business with you is not that they don't understand, not that they can't find you, is that they don't trust you and or they're uncomfortable with you. Now, I've known this for years, yet in the last couple of months, I've been working on ways to really find out how to get people to trust you quicker and how to get people more comfortable with you quicker. Now, my question for you is, what would that be like if you ran into somebody and they were comfortable with you like an old friend right off the bat? Wouldn't that be great? Or imagine for a second you were doing a business deal and you sat down with somebody and within a few seconds, like instantly almost, they felt like, wow, I've known you forever. Wouldn't that make life easier? Well, of course it would. And the reason why is we all have certain ways that we connect with individuals. Now, over the last couple of months, I've been studying the subject of rapport. Now, I've been studying rapport since the early days of neuro-linguistic programming over the last decade of my life. But what's interesting about what I've studied recently about rapport is there's some very startling facts that I figured out. Now, the New York Times did a poll, a survey on people like you and I, and they took a large group of people, tens of thousands of people, and they went around and they said, how many of you, feel a certain way when you're meeting other people? And what was very interesting was when it comes down to dealing with others, this is a very interesting piece of information which will drastically get you to understand your business and your life even better. Here's what it was. They said out of 100% of the people polled, that's 100%, 63% of the people said that you really, really have to watch out for other people. Now, what that means to you and what that means to me is that as you're watching this, 63% of you are really saying, hey, I got to watch out for Mike. And I think of myself, hey, if there's 63 people out there, or 63% of you, I got to watch out for you. 63% of the people said you have to watch out and really kind of be cautious of other people. Now, the other 37%, I'd say about a third of the people that were polled, or a third of the people, 1 out of 3 people we come across said people, if they were given an opportunity, would take advantage of you. Imagine that. 1 out of 3 people that you do not know look at you as somebody that may attempt to take advantage of them. And 2 out of 3 people say they really got to watch out. Now, the interesting part of the study was there was another piece. They asked another question, not just about strangers. They said, let's take a look at the people that you currently know, your friends, your family, your relatives, the people that you're currently comfortable with in your life. Out of those people, how comfortable are you with them? And here's what it came up. People said 85% of the people polled said they are more comfortable and they feel safer around people they already know. So think of it this way. If they don't know you and they're uncomfortable with you, a third of them think you're there to take advantage of them, and 2/3 of them are watching out for you. But if you can get them to feel like you're their friend quickly, or in some bit of time, what's going to happen for you is 85% of them are going to be comfortable and like to do business with you, like to date you, like to be a friend. Now, what if, for an absolute fact, I could show you simply how you could build this type of rapport? Now, for those of you that don't know what rapport means, it's a word I've known for years with NLP. It's the ability to create a connection, a harmony between you and another person. But for simplicity's sake, I'm going to use the word common ground to make it where I feel comfortable with you because you're like me. Have you ever noticed before that people that sell cell phones typically hang out with people that sell cell phones? Those of you that are in direct sales or network marketing know other people in direct sales and network marketing. People that use Macintosh computers know people that use Macintosh computers. We are connected to people that are a lot like us that have common grounds. Now, over the course of the next 5-7 days here, I'm going to be sharing with you some great videos, some with me and some with my mentors and people that I've worked with, and we're going to share with you some of these cutting-edge strategies. Now, I'm not going to let you leave today's video without giving you a very, very simple system that you can use for understanding this. So many people are confusing rapport with persuasion. Now, I teach both rapport and persuasion. The difference is one gets somebody comfortable and one gets someone to do what you want them to do, or what they really want them to do in the first place. But what I want to share with you is until you have the rapport, it's a challenge to persuade somebody. But once you have rapport, people are willing typically to do whatever you recommend them to do in advance. Imagine just for a second that you have a friend who is friends with an owner of a company, a large company. Let's just say Bill Gates with Microsoft, or the President of the United States. And this friend says, I can get them to take your phone call. I can get them to take your phone call. Let's say Bill Gates, for an example. And your friend says, all you have to do is call Bill and he'll take your phone call. You call Bill on the phone, he picks up the phone and says, oh yeah, you're friends with Jim or you're friends with Mike Burnoff? Oh, that's great. And he takes your call. Here's why. The person that set up the meeting had a rapport with the other person. I can show you how to have that simple rapport when dealing with other people. Now, there's several different types of rapport. All I'm going to focus on today is what I call verbal rapport, how you use your words. Now, it is absolutely not the most effective version of rapport, but it's one simple way that you can use. I'm going to give you a couple examples of how to use it, and tomorrow we're going to share some really, really great stuff with you. Okay, so when it comes down to verbal rapport, you have to understand that our words are traveling in and out of our mouths, in our ears. We are getting inundated day in, day out with information. We're taking stuff in all the time. Now, when you're communicating with another person, it's very important to understand what I call C cubed. And what C cubed is, it's different than C4. That's an explosion. C cubed is what's called crystal clear communication. And what that means is talking to people the way they like to be talked to. Haven't you ever noticed that before, where someone's talking to you and they're talking to you in a way that, it just doesn't add up? They're talking one language and you're talking another. It's sort of like someone from Iowa and someone from New York getting together, a little bit slower, a little bit faster, and they're getting together and they're creating a distance between themselves. Well, the fastest way to figure that out is to start to focus now on what people say. And I'm going to give you a couple prime examples. Let's just say for a second, somebody comes up to you and says, I do not see how this is going to work for me. Now, typically what we do is we say, well, sit down. What do you mean you don't understand? I don't get it. Let me share this back with you. And you start kind of offending them. All you have to do is feed people back what they already said to you. Because then the friend meter goes off and goes, oh, this is one of me, a friend just like me. So when someone says to you, I do not see how this is going to work for me, all you have to do is sit down with them and say, let me show you how it's going to work for you. And all I did there is I copied their model, the way they do things. They want to know how it's going to work. So what do? You share with them how it's going to work. And you say back to them, not mimicking them, not mocking what they said, but mirroring back what they said to you. When they said, I do not see how this is going to work for me, you have to say, well, let me show you how this is going to work for you. Because that's the answer they wanted in the first place. I wrote down a couple other examples of this. When it comes down to, cost, how much does this actually cost? Well, the old salespeople would say, well, tell them what the investment is. But they want to know the cost. They're not looking for you to pull something fast on them. You want to turn around and say, well, let me share with you what the cost actually is. Use the word they used back with them. I see this all the time with mortgage brokers. And they're dealing with people, and mortgage people, they say, well, this is the loan. Well, when someone's dealing with a mortgage, a lot of times, even though we all know what mortgage means, the word loan sometimes scares people. So if someone says, I want to understand the entire mortgage, and you pull out the paperwork and say, well, here you go. Here's the loan information. You're going to throw them off, and you're going to break rapport. Very simply, you have the ability to say back to them, great, let me share with you all of the mortgage information, not the loan information, not the investment property information, not your future, giving away every dollar you have, mortgage, because that's the way they're talking. Just like when you're dealing with somebody with a warranty company, they say, I want to know what the warranty is. Don't say, well, the insurance covers. You want to use the word warranty. Now, why I'm covering this with you is most people are using their language instead of another person's. The second you start using another person's language right back to them, what happens is instantly they're going to feel a connection with you. I'm going to encourage you to start using this right away. When you're talking with somebody, make sure to give them back the language they give you. If someone says, I want to make sure I understand this, you don't say, let me explain it to you. You say, great, I want to make sure you understand this too. So tomorrow, we're going to be covering some really, really great strategies. I know for a fact if you start using this, it's going to be huge. Check your inbox because I got some great stuff planned for the next 5 to 7 days that we're going to send out some awesome emails, some awesome videos that I know are going to impact you. But just to give you a little tidbit of what's going to happen tomorrow, I'm going to break down for you a very, very simple process when it comes down to rapport, how you can start building rapport faster than you ever imagined and really start to create rapid rapport in your life. So thanks for your time today. Go out and use this information and don't be part of that percentage of people that people are frightened of. Start to make more friends. Start to get people to connect. I guarantee it'll change your life.